I'm everything you're talking about right now. Well, not pedo.
We've got a guest episode. We've actually got Diddy on the podcast.
No.
Welcome back to Everything and Nothing. This is episode 12. We
Hello.
actually can't believe we're still doing this. But here we are today.
Does 12 mean 3 months?
Yeah, we've done this every week. So yeah, this
Merry
is
3 months.
We're 3 months deep. Quarter of a year in already, by the way. That's actually scary. We're
Yeah.
a quarter of a year, like quarter of the way to our first anniversary of the pod, which is scary. But
Hell yeah.
anyways, first things first, a little catch up. How have you been this week?
Stressed, babe. Stressed.
About what?
Work.
Oh, about everything.
However, I have had some things to get me through it.
Yeah? Go on.
Big Brother.
Oh, right. Okay. What is it? Is it a new season?
It is indeed. It started on Sunday night, I think.
Yeah.
I think it was Sunday.
Is it as good as the one with Pieface in it? I haven't even seen that episode, but I've seen the clips of him on it. Have you seen them?
Pieface? Was he in celebrity? With the celebrity
No,
one?
not celebrity. It was before he was like a big streamer.
Oh.
He went on loads of shit. I'm pretty sure he was on Deal or No Deal and Big Brother.
I love that for him.
Yeah. James was on
reality
Deal or No Deal before. I can't even talk about it because he'll literally murder me if I... Actually, to be fair, it's not in the clip.
He was on Deal or No Deal.
Yeah, basically recently. I'm just not going to put this into a clip so he won't know. Because he's not going to watch. There were clips going around of him being on Deal or No Deal, but like back a day. Literally, I think he said it was like 10 years ago. And because we was in the studio after a recording one day, and as we was walking out, I was like, I started chuckling to myself because I thought of it. And I was like, do you know what's funny? And he looked at me and he's like, what? And he's like, you know what I've seen going around on TikTok already? And he didn't say anything, but he just like bit his tongue inside his mouth.
No.
And I was like, I've seen clips of you going around on Deal or No Deal. Was it actually you? And he's like, fuck's sake, man. Yeah, it was actually me. Like, I did it, but it happened so long ago. I don't know how they've resurfaced. Like, people are like running with it. And
carry on.
Sorry. And then he spoke about it in a Patreon episode. And the way we saw it out was I messaged Ellis and I'm just like, oh, what was the... Because we promote it on Instagram story. So I have to like title it. And I was like, what should I title it? Like, what did they talk about in the episode? He was like, he talked about the Deal or No Deal thing for quite a bit and it's fucking funny. So we did that. And then he put in the shit like, Ananya posted it on our story. And then as a joke, she like put in the chat, she was like, sorry about that, by the way, like putting the Deal or No Deal. Because she put it with the clip of him on the Shits and Gigs podcast story. And then
was he annoyed?
He put in the group chat, it's like, I'm not gonna lie, this did actually piss me off. It was like, I was actually pissed off. And she was like, sorry. Yeah.
My brother used to be obsessed with Deal or No Deal, and he like, you know, you can be in the audience of the show, and there's like a clip of and Noel Edmonds is like in the shot, and my brother's just in the background, like buzzing to be in the camera view with Noel. So funny. Because
with James as well, he didn't even want, when he did it, the reason why he hated it as well, he didn't want to do it when he done it.
Why?
He was with a girl at the time, and she signed them up to do it was like a Valentine's Day special thing. He didn't even get to play it. So normally when you're on there, like you kind of wait on there until
wait. So is he just one of the people with the boxes?
Open the box. All the clips were just of him going. All the clips of him just going ding, ding, just opening the lids of the box. And he turned
so
up,
funny.
and the wardrobe
so
people
funny.
on the day, he was like, they gave him this t-shirt that had like a really low cut like thing, and he was like, big man, I'm not wearing that.
I'm not getting my tits out.
And he was like, that's all I've got, and he was just like, fuck, like he's got to do it, and he goes on there. Oh, it's the funniest
so
shit,
funny.
Man. I can't make that into a clip though, because he'll crucify me.
Yeah. Sorry. It had to be spoken about. At least
did.
we're only small right now.
But yeah, back to the topic, Pieface was on Big
now
Brother
that you said it, I definitely have seen clips of that on TikTok.
Yeah, he had like arguments with people. He was like shouting at people. And shit.
See, this is what I'm worried about for this current season. Everyone, it is early days. People do eventually start to piss each other off, but everyone's getting along a bit too well so far. Again, we're only like not even a week in, but I feel like there's not, my problem with this season this year compared to last year's one is I feel like there's maybe not enough diversity in this year's cast. So there's not enough beef. Like I can see how they've picked personalities that are very different.
Sorry, just to jump in quick, is it just regular Big Brother or celebrity?
This is regular Big Brother. Okay. So Celeb has already been. I didn't watch that, which is crazy.
I never watch it, but like
I didn't think the lineup was good.
And Big Brother's always, and that kind of shit is always like juicy. But I never watch him.
No, I prefer normal Big Brother because it's just normal people.
Yeah.
Like, and a lot of them have like no PR training, obviously. Like they're just insane to watch on TV 24/7. So yeah, the celeb one I was like, meh. But yeah, last year, normal Big Brother, they had loads of diversity. So not just like moral, ethical, political views. They had like lots of people of like different ages from really different backgrounds and who you could just immediately tell was going to butt heads. This year, a part of me is like, it's almost given Love Island. Nearly everyone on there is like between 20 and 30. There's only one like middle-aged person on there, a woman, Emma, who is sound. Like she's not. Whereas last year you had like a real mix in ages and like attitudes, and people immediately started kind of butting heads. And I just feel like also some people on this year's cast, a person that's just got evicted, spoiler, sorry, Ryan, he went on to it being like, I'm going to like, I don't like the wokeness of people. Like, I don't agree with this, that, and this.
Big Brother's too woke now.
Yeah, goes on it and is actually like a sound guy. And I'm like,
what?
If you're going to go in with this persona to get you on the show, whether it's actually your real personality or not, keep up with that on the show. Don't go in there and actually be nice to everyone. Like, I feel like some people have diluted themselves a little bit, but maybe that's because it's early days and they're trying to like kind of get along with everyone and like make connections and alliances and stuff. But
yeah, you can't exactly walk in there, pick up the first drink you see, what is this bloody woke beer?
Yeah, and immediately kick off. Yeah. But I think it's because last year's season, shout out Farida, shout out Kerry, within the first week, like before the first eviction, there was already beef. Like everyone already hated Farida. People didn't like Kerry. There was already immediate problems. Nothing like that, in my opinion, has really happened yet with this season. But I need that fire.
Yeah, but sometimes that happens and it just cooks, and they'll show.
It's going to be a slow burner. It's going to have to be.
Because also, obviously, with any reality show as well, you only see such a like a cut down snippet of it. They have loads of conversations that you don't see, and then one day they'll just throw in one where they're in like a fucking like changing room or whatever. Changing room. I'm thinking of the Love Island thing where they all get ready, like the walking wardrobe type shit,
like a dressing room kind of thing.
Whatever the Big Brother's equivalent of that is, where they're just isolated, and then they'll let it all out in there, and then they'll just throw that in there, and you'll be like, "What? No way!"
Yeah.
Like it's come so sideways. When in reality, it's been cooking up the whole fucking time.
I'm hoping that now they're doing more tasks and being on like economy budget food and like eating less, sleeping less.
So how does it actually like what? Obviously, I know you get thrown in the house and stuff, but what is like? Is there like a game show element to it? It sounds like it was this economy budget.
A lot of episodes, if not all of them, I can't really remember. Most of them at least have some sort of task within them where you just compete for things, whether it's like they did a task on last night's episode where if they win it, 5 people in the group that they had to pick got to have a Chinese takeaway for dinner.
Oh, sick. I'll be buzzing.
Whereas, but like they're doing things to kind of create divide. So like only 5 people out of 16 could have it. And like you have to choose who has it. And I think this next week's, some of the episodes across them, they're doing like a head of house. I don't know how that'll get nominated, but somebody will be a head of house in charge of everyone. They get immunity from next week's evictions as well.
Oh,
like
my
they're
God.
trying to do things to cause that divide and like get people kind of get like power to their heads and stuff and rattle people. And they'll probably, I presume, if there's like a leader of the house, they'll probably make like hierarchy tiers and piss people off. This, while they're not sleeping a lot, they're on economy budget because they failed the last task.
Why are they not sleeping a lot? Are they like not allowed?
Well, there's no concept of time in Big Brother, and so like,
what is there? No, you can't see outside anywhere or anything.
Well, the closest concept of time you can get is looking outside, but like you can't really monitor it. You will forget how quickly or how slowly time goes. You can have like a rough idea of what time it is based on when it gets dark out, but that's kind of all you know.
For your body clock though, no?
Maybe, but I mean, like in the last episode, they were all up till like 3:30 and they wouldn't have known.
Oh man!
And then they'll probably get woken up at like 9 o'clock or something. But that with being in this pressure cooker environment, not eating a lot if they're failing the tasks and being on like the rations budget. And then like just kind of getting sick of each other. I'm hoping that something will blow up a little bit more.
Yeah,
I need more fire. More fire, guys. I need arguments. I need someone to punch another person.
I couldn't be put in the position of that head of house thing. I'll be the most toxic motherfucker. Like,
I don't know
who's
who's
the
gonna.
Wrong way. If someone complains to me, yeah, you're getting whatever the shit food is, like rice and beans.
I think
Hold that.
a lot of people online want Lily, who I will get onto.
Yeah,
they want Lily to be the head of house because it would be carnage.
Yeah,
and not in the sense of her being a dick to other people or like abusing her power. She's just fucking chaos.
So
like
what? Sorry, just before you jump into Lily, what like? So they're the head of house, obviously they're in charge of other people. What does that actually mean? Like, what can they do?
I don't know. They haven't told us yet.
Oh,
we don't know.
Is it not like a thing that happens every year?
No, they switch it up for a lot of them. They had a similar thing last year where they had big wigs.
Yeah.
Where they had a bit of like a hierarchy
like a
system. Yeah, and they had like a hierarchy system, and like the big wigs were like kind of on the top. So they do have like similar things, but Big Brother tries to switch it up a little bit each year. So I don't actually really know what it involves. And all I've heard about this head of house thing was from when they briefly spoke about it on Late and Live, the kind of catch-up show after Big Brother last night. So I don't really know too many details, but if Lily, I don't know how they get chosen either. I don't know any details, but I hope Lily gets made head of house because it'll be chaos. She seems really innocent and like genuinely lovely, but she's just fucking insane. Like, I've never seen someone with so much energy and like she's riddled with ADHD. Yeah. Like bad. It's so like obvious. She screams and jumps up and down. Like you might have seen a clip of it where I haven't oh my god. Anything. Okay, I need to show you this clip. Okay. Which just gives you the kind of insight into who she is. She's so innocent.
Is she like that?
She's so innocent. She's 20. She's only ever worked in a Chinese takeaway since she was 14. And she has so much enthusiasm around working in a Chinese takeaway. And she's on 100% energy 24/7. Like I could see why people might find her really overwhelming. Yeah. But she is jokes. Yeah. She's just chaos. Like,
is she like that? I don't know what her name was. You know, there's that really, really famous Big Brother clip of that girl ages ago who just like basically just has a breakdown in Big Brother and just screams at everyone. Yeah.
She's like Nikki Graham, but not as aggressive. So like Nikki Graham was quite like angry.
Like she'd take it out of people.
Yeah, whereas Lily is that energy, that person, but like just so innocent and like she's very happy and enthusiastic.
Oh, I'd find that
she's had her moments where like she got upset a couple episodes ago because I think she was getting worried that people didn't like her because she's so different from everyone else. Because they've obviously chucked Lily in because she's an insanely big personality and they want it to like spice it up. Like
his face. Oh my god, send me that. We need to put that on the screen. You guys have to see this guy's face.
Literally look at like
his eyes widen.
And look at her jumping.
What is she screaming like this over?
Just for getting into the house and like after that they did a task and she was separated.
That can't be real.
No, she has that kind of energy for everything.
Jesus.
She's like 100% energy.
Oh my god, yeah.
Like it's insane.
I've never seen someone's eyes open so wide.
It's insane. And that clip where she comes back in and I think it's called Shagan. And he is like it's so funny.
Yeah, for audio listeners. So she literally runs into the room, jumps, like stomping her feet, waving her hands on, like whenever you say screaming, not just like happy, like top of her voice, like screeching.
She screamed so much in the first 2 episodes, she lost her voice in the third one because she screams.
Hell, man! And then this guy that she's walked into, he's like smiling at first, like happy for her coming in or whatever, and then his face just drops, his eyes widen,
his hands
he's just like,
shake. Yeah, she's so funny, but she's just carnage. Like, the best way I can describe it is just a pressure cooker of ADHD that just at any given moment just is like, just explodes over something that to most people is quite minor. It's like, ugh. And she's very innocent. Like she's quite, at least comes across to be
quite naive
and very uneducated on like social topics, but not in a.
She's not like these bloody woke beers.
No, and not in, I can't think of the word, not in like a negligent way. She just doesn't.
Oh, yeah, it's just like, I can respect that if you're just not interested in it or just like, it just goes over your head. Whatever,
well, I just don't think she exposes herself to it.
Actually, fairs. I try not to expose myself to shit.
Like they were like, there's a Just Stop Oil girl on there.
Oh, really?
And she had a bit of a somewhat heated chat with a guy who's a massive royalist, was King Charles's butler.
But yeah, they've chosen a lot of diverse people in this one.
Well,
by the sounds of it.
As I'm saying, as I said at and like the backgrounds I feel like aren't too different, whereas they picked very politically, morally like different people in this season, which is kind of interesting. But they were like talking about climate change and all this stuff, and Lily's just there like, what's climate change? Like she just has no idea. And they were talking about oh god, like maybe it was like capitalism or something.
Yeah.
And she literally just had no idea. Like she just is clueless. Like she's never lived away from home before or anything.
Oh really?
And she's gone into Big Brother.
Yeah, fair.
I have a feeling that she might.
That's fucking ballsy.
I have a part of me thinks she could win, but I know that a lot of people find her annoying. She is really overwhelming, but like I kind of love her for that. Like she's very herself.
A lot of people on these like reality shows, because I'm right, you vote for people to go out, right?
Yes.
You don't vote to keep people in and at least go out.
So we've just had our first eviction, and it was Ryan that went.
A lot of the people that stay under the radar quite a lot actually end up getting quite far, just because like they've done nothing of substance to piss people off that could piss people off. So it's just like they just fly under the radar.
There's a woman on there called Ali who's she's a forensic psychologist.
Oh,
yeah,
that'd be a sick job.
I know, and she's really calm, composed. She openly said that she's like on the spectrum, so she's more kind of like she's a bit more introverted, not so like socially out there. Like she kind of keeps to herself, but like is very personable still. Yeah. But obviously she kind of like is monitoring people a little bit.
I'll be doing that. I'll be trying to psychoanalyze everyone.
And like she doesn't stir the pot or anything, but like people love her. Like I think she'll go quite far. People really, really warm to her immediately because she's just like cool, calm, collected, like just like a sound person. But then I saw there was another guy called, oh my God, there's a guy called Marcello.
Yeah.
Sorry, hate him. He literally, all he talks about is just like sex and being a womanizer and like...
I'm Big Brother, it's not even Love Island, bro, like relax.
And he I think he was a good decision to put in there. Yeah. He's someone that stirs the pot because I don't... It's a bit of a sticky one because he is... Watching him, I feel quite uncomfortable the way he speaks to people in there.
Yeah.
He just constantly is flirting and talks about being a 10 out of 10 in bed, and him and Ali. By the way, Ali, this is relevant. Ali is a lesbian, right? Yeah. Has a girlfriend. They go to the smoking area. They come out and Marcello starts telling everyone that they kissed in the smoking area and being like, you wanted it kind of thing. Like you were coming on to me. These guys are both like 30 in their 30s. And I'm like, I know that you know it's a joke. Ali literally is not even, she's not even straight.
Yeah.
But like being weird about it and like telling people that like they've kissed and that she was coming on to him and like
telling people
like,
in a joke or just straight up lying in a serious way. Like wasn't like, how we just kissed out there and whatever.
He was doing it in a jokey manner, but he just wouldn't drop it. And it was weird. Like it wasn't really funny anymore.
It wasn't like you just said it and that was it.
And he could tell that Ali was stressed by it, and maybe because of the way Ali thinks, she takes it quite literally and will like kind of get worked up a bit more by it. But like, I don't know.
Is Ali the same person as the psychoanalyst thing?
Yeah. And yeah, Marcello's just a bit of a sex pest. And he's a bit...
It's kind of funny for Big Brother though.
He seems like a nice guy. He just thinks with his dick. Like he's really... he's just really...
You can't help it sometimes, man.
No, he's just a bit... I just feel a bit like, ugh, like I get icked out by him.
Yeah.
He thinks he's a 10 out of 10 and I'm like... You're like a 6 because you're icky.
Yeah, I don't care how good looking someone is. If they have the attitude, like you could be a 25 out of 10. If you have the attitude that you know you're like that, you're instantly like a 7 for me.
That's exactly what he's doing. Like he thinks he's this like prodigy, both just physically and then like sexually.
Yeah.
And it's just cringe. Like you need to be like more humble.
Facts.
You need to be more humble. Bring it down a few notches.
Do you get that with... I want to know how that is for. I mean, you've probably just explained it there with that Big Brother clip, but like for girls, that is a massive thing for me. Like, if, for example, on like dating apps, or even just like you can kind of tell their energy, like if you see them at a bar or something in general, like if someone's like an 11 out of 10 or even a 10 out of 10 or whatever, but they just talk to people and have that energy where they like I don't know how to word this quite right, but like, you know, you're a 10 out of 10 type shit and you carry yourself like that. And you just like, you're almost like looking down on other people and like that type shit.
Yeah, I think
is that a thing for girls? Because that puts
100%.
That, you could literally be 11 out of 10 and I won't look at you again if I catch you.
100%. I think there's a fine line between confidence and arrogance.
Yes, yeah, that's the way to word it. That's what I was looking for.
So
arrogant.
like, obviously, I find someone being confident quite attractive and like go king. You know, equally like somebody would probably find it more attractive if I was very confident about myself. But then you get to a point where you love yourself more than you could love someone else.
Yeah.
And like, I feel like Marcello is on that cusp of like, yeah, he loves women, but he fucking loves himself.
Yeah, and some like, people love the look of himself.
Yeah, and like...
is he the type of guy to have himself with his lock screen?
Yeah, yeah. And like, he's always topless.
Oh,
but for a reason.
He wants to be, he thinks it's Love Island. He couldn't get on Love Island. He's got on Big Brother. That's what's happened.
Yeah, and even in like the challenge last night, he was talking about how he's like open to like romantic interest in Big Brother. And I'm like... You're just tragic.
Yeah, he's trying to turn it into Love Island.
But no, I agree with what you just said. Like if I said, like if a guy's really confident within himself, cool, that's fit. But if you're so egotistical and big-headed and you love yourself, but like love yourself a bit too much to the point where you love yourself more than you could love someone else.
Yeah, I'll tell you what.
Because it's just it's just icky. I don't like it.
100%. I'll tell you what. Like an example would be that I'm thinking of. Right, is like. Say you match with someone on Hinge and you have like a couple messages or whatever. And sometimes someone just gives you a message and then you like, there's not really much to say on it. So you just kind of like, you reply to it and you respond like kind of politely with it. It's not just a one-word response, but it's kind of like one of them where the conversation's not dead, but you could quite easily leave it dead.
Yeah.
And then
there's not too much to go
And then
off.
if you end up like double messaging or whatever, and they're like, I kind of have the energy as like respectfully, oh, you gave me nothing, or like this type of shit. And it's like, do I need to tell you how to have a conversation? You know, like if you both match with someone and you want to keep the conversation going, keep it going type of shit. Like some people just like
shoot themselves in the foot.
The kind of energy, right? If I match with somewhere, it's like, how would I word this from the girl's point of view? Like, you've got to basically just do everything, just carry everything, carry every conversation, just like throw myself at you type shit. I'm like, I'm not about it.
Well, it's just painful.
It is just painful. Like trying to have
it's more effort than it's worth because it's a
like,
two-way thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
But that's why I feel like, again, leading back to Marcello, sorry, but like he just throws himself at people and like even though they're so obviously not interested, he just keeps badgering on. And that is the other end of the spectrum. Yeah. But like that isn't attractive. No. Equally as what you're saying the other way, like none of it is.
Yeah.
You got to find a good medium. And these people, you need to learn. Yeah. You need to learn. And especially if you're going on broadcasted like TV, you need to learn. Like he's going to come out when people are just going to think you're a creep, mate.
Yeah, facts.
Like you're a bit, well, maybe not a creep, but like a pest.
Yeah.
Like he's not going to get out and women are going to throw them. Well, women might throw themselves at him. I don't know. I don't know other people's preferences, but from my perspective, he'll get out and people would just be like, you're a bit pervy.
Yeah.
Like he's a bit weird.
I respect his hustle though. If there's no drama in at the moment, one way to get people's drama, get him shagging, mate. Get him shagging in Big Brother. There'll be some fucking drama. I
think he's probably low key a bit gutted that no one's showing him attention back. Like literally every like he's been dropping hints at different girls in there who are all just so obviously not interested.
Yeah.
Like there's a girl called Rosie, which by the way you'll find this funny. Rosie had to do a challenge on one of the first episodes, a truth or dare thing. To try and win some prizes. And one of the dares was that she had to legally change her name within Big Brother to Baked Potato. And she did it. So now everything that she's linked to, the voting, the voiceover, she gets called Baked Potato.
No.
Yeah.
So what did she get for doing that, sorry?
She was competing for the right to like stay in the house. If not, you're in sleeping the storage room.
To stay in the house, she'd legally change her name?
Only within Big Brother.
Oh.
She's not actually legally.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I thought you meant legally.
Like, they said it's like legally, but it's within Big Brother. Like she had to sign a contract, but like, so like on the screen when you vote for people, she's Baked Potato. And like the voiceovers, she's Baked Potato.
Okay, that's funny.
It is funny.
I thought you meant legally. I was like, you couldn't pay me enough fucking prize money.
Not outside of the house. But Marcello kept moving to Baked Potato, who was just so not interested. Like it was so, it was such a painful watch. Like, you could tell she's like laughing a little bit uncomfortable, kind of like, I'm just not interested. And he's there like, oh, just like dropping hints and being like, "Oh, you're so beautiful. Have you ever modeled and stuff?" And I'm like, what?
And she's just sitting there like, damn.
Like grim.
How many That's Crazy Bros did she drop in that conversation?
Like, he's just cringe, man.
Like sitting there going, damn, that's crazy.
But no, I need more drama, but I'm getting there. I'm hoping things start to kind of fire up in the next week or so, but we will spin back to this later down the line. But right now, I think my winner, as it stands, my gut goes for Lily. I think she could do it if people begin to love her and not find her annoying.
Yeah.
So
basically the producers are going to control how well she does.
I think if she's portrayed in a light where she is herself, but like maybe not too overwhelming, I think she could do it. But some people will find her overwhelming regardless. Yeah. But I feel like she has potential to win.
Yeah.
So go Lily, go Chinese takeaway.
But yeah, talking of I was gonna transition from when I said crazy and then you just waffled on about Lily, so now I don't know where to transition to. But I guess I'll just jump straight to it.
Yeah.
So moving on from reality TV to just back into reality now. Mm-hmm. Have you seen what Tesla have just announced?
I have not.
They've just announced the first. Is it the first? Let me know in the comments if it's the first. But they've announced the Cybercar and Robovan, which are autonomous driverless vehicles.
Okay.
So driverless car, the Cybercar is a driverless car. The Robovan is like almost like a minibus type thing, like a minibus size thing.
And it drives itself.
All completely autonomous.
I hate that.
Set to, I don't think they've given a specific day, but it's set to hit roads, I think either 2025 or
my God.
I think it's the next 2 years.
I know
in California and Texas, that is, not worldwide.
I know that some Teslas do already drive themselves, don't they? They have like an autopilot mode.
They've basically been like training it from that pretty much.
Yeah. So I guess it's not too far from what they've already been doing, but just the thought of trusting the car enough to do that without you needing to drive it really scares me.
Yeah, it's terrifying.
Because surely like there's so many opportunities for things to go wrong.
Yeah.
I don't know, like
it brings us on to
that's scary to me.
Yeah, I'll go into like the kind of ethical things with it in a second, but like one of the positive things of it is like nights out and like drunk driving and shit. You don't have to have designated drivers anymore. Say these were like as common as Ubers, right? In the future, would that affect how many people actually drive? Like in general, I'm thinking because I guess maybe maybe just for like social stuff and events, because like you could go anywhere, get drunk, and then just get a driverless car home. No one has to worry about.
I think
who's
a
driving.
lot of people will be scared by it though. Like I would feel really on edge being in a car with no driver.
Yeah.
I have another question around that.
Mm-hmm.
If the car crashes, whose fault is it?
We'll get into this because this comes on to like some of the ethical things.
I was going to say like what's their like kind of like policy around that?
I know these aren't right now, but let's say these are just like every Uber is replaced by a Cybercar, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, obviously people get in Ubers drunk.
Yeah.
But if you get in, it's someone's car. So if whose car is it that you're getting in? I guess it's like owned by Uber at that point. But if you throw up, for example, in an Uber and stuff, like how does it know? How does it clean it? Who gets a cleaning fee? How can it prove it? That kind of stuff.
Yeah, how will they know that someone's been sick in it?
And then also, like, let's say someone's sick in it and it just drives off and just goes picks up the next person and is now sick in the thing and you don't get in it. But how? So it's going to, I don't know.
I mean, they'd know who was in it because obviously like the trip details, but you won't know which one of those has been sick in the car.
Yeah, and like how you report it and stuff. Like, obviously this is a lot of technical stuff that Uber, if it was, because this is, again, it's Tesla that have revealed this, not Uber, but just saying like that kind of stuff. But let's say, right, so you know how you said you'd be nervous getting into one, right?
Mm-hmm.
And kind of going back onto like the kind of dating thing or whatever. Let's say you've matched with someone on Hinge, 10 out of 10, 10 out of 10.
Okay.
Conversation been flowing. You're really into this person.
Mm-hmm.
And they've organized a date, come pick you up, step outside, it's a driverless car. You getting in?
Wait, so like they've sent like a driverless car to
They're in it, like to pick you up, but it's a driverless car.
I'd get in it, but I'd be scared.
Yeah, absolutely terrified. Like, Griffin the
car ain't gonna do shit. Like if it crashes, I'm going with it.
Yeah, no one's
like that's it. I would be scared, but I think I'd maybe do it.
Yeah.
But then, like I said before, leading on to like the ethical side of it, if the car crashes and it is the car's fault, like it's not someone else who's like driven into it, who is then liable?
Yeah.
If I owned that Tesla car and it crashed on a motorway, let's say, like it swerved off, would I then like sue Tesla or something?
Yeah, I don't know
like,
how
does
the
that
legality
work?
side of it works. I've actually seen a driverless car though. When I don't know if I mentioned it on the pod. I've definitely told you. I probably showed you.
Wasn't
at the time.
it in Dallas?
Yeah, so I was in Dallas, Texas last year, and I was coming back from, I don't know where I was, on night out somewhere, late night out, and it was like 2, 3, maybe 3 a.m. And they'd just started, I don't know what company it was, maybe it was to do with Tesla, had just started testing these driverless cars. So I was in my Uber. As I was driving down the road, we pull up to some lights. Literally, it just looked like a normal car, almost with like a big, like chunky kind of roof rack thing on it, which obviously has all the sensors and cameras for security and all that kind of stuff. And they're quite good though, because we was going down the road and my Uber driver tried to brake check it. I was fucking shitting myself in the back because like, imagine you just hit us. Then what? My Uber tried to brake check the car and it didn't crash. It like brakes in time and stuff, so that they seem pretty safe. And I'm sure these aren't going to hit the roads without being like completely safe. And obviously Tesla know what they're doing with this.
In their mind, they'll probably say it's safer than drivers.
But yeah, but back to the like legality stuff and if it crashes, what happens kind of thing. It basically, with driverless cars, brings you onto the trolley problem, which, you know, like it's like do you switch the lever to kill 1 people or 4 type shit? Because obviously if you're a driverless car, let's say you're driving down a road really fast and someone jumps in front of it or like walks in front of it or whatever, does the car keep going to do that or swerve off the road and then potentially kill the people in the car and stuff, like the passengers in the car type shit? So it's like there's a whole trolley problem with trying to solve kind of what it prioritizes in crashes. Does it prioritize the people in it?
All the people around it.
It's a bit of a dark thought, but from a legality side and like protection side, from
probably would try and protect the driver.
Probably would protect the people in it.
The owner of the car.
Really dark subject, but for the sake of the company, probably try and protect that. But then it's like the stuff to do, or like, for example, if it's not even necessarily people in the car that are going to die, but let's say you're crossing and there's like an old person and on the other side there's a person with a pram and a baby. Like walking, like what do you do then, kind of thing. It literally, I don't remember the website. I'll put it in the description. There's a website for literally, I think it is called the driverless car problem, because there's all these kind of stuff where it's like, what does it prioritize when it's going to crash and it only has an option? It's like, does it crash into all the people in the car?
What to do.
Or does it crash into the people that are in front of it, or whatever the obstacle is, and that kind of stuff. So it creates a whole trolley problem, which is scary as fuck. But also, like, I mean, how often does that stuff really happen where it's like either or? Obviously crashes happen, but like
in that moment, what's it going to decide to prioritize? Yeah, that's a really interesting thought, actually.
If it's a car-on-car crash, that must get techie, because it's like, I'm sure they must have like cameras and sensors and stuff, like to be able to like dash cams and shit. Yeah,
they must do. And again, they'll probably argue that their cars are safer than a human driver, because they'll say we've got like state-of-the-art sensors that react quicker than a human can and will be more hyper-aware of its surroundings than a human probably is, or an average driver is.
Yeah.
Like, I get their selling point on it.
Yeah, I just hope it's not running off Apple Maps, although Apple Maps is actually better now. But it used to literally take you through buildings and shit. Like, when I used to try and get to places, it would just like, it would take you to a direct route, but not where the roads actually are. Like, for example, I went to like a football, like AstroTurf pitch one day, and it took me to the road that was closest to it technically, but was on the other side of houses that backed onto that place. And I was like, this literally isn't where I'm trying to get to.
I went to a comedy show last weekend, and one of the guys that was up like doing a show was talking about his experience with people that use Apple Maps over Google Maps.
Yeah.
And he was shitting on them.
Shitting on Apple Maps?
Shitting on people that use Apple Maps. And
they were really, really bad before, but they've actually updated it a lot. I use it. I don't use Google Maps anymore. I used to say all the time, use Google, but now I don't. I'm
there laughing away in the crowd, wine in hand, having a good time. Then he starts calling Apple Maps users freaks or pedos, like some like loads of like offensive things. And I'm suddenly there like,
and you were, hey, he's talking about me.
Is this fucking play about us? Like, I'm there like, ha 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 ha, sweating, thinking, I'm everything you're talking about right now. Well, not a pedo.
One thing, Apple Maps
we need to cut that last bit out. That was me calling myself a pedo. I didn't mean it like that. I meant as in, I'm an Apple Maps user.
Today's podcast, I'm on a little, we're doing a guest episode. We've actually got Diddy on the podcast.
No. You've actually got Smart Boy 9 on the podcast.
What was he saying?
I'd like to clarify, not a pedo. I meant that I use Apple Maps and I was getting shit talked while going to this flipping comedy show, getting ripped to shreds. I think Apple Maps is just fine. Thank you very much. It is good.
It's a lot better in America though, because like the way like their roads and stuff are like numbered, it's confusing to say out loud. But when you're looking at it on the app, when you're actually driving, so when I was being driven around, I was seeing people using it and stuff. It's like it's so fucking easy. Like I often use it in the UK and still like I'll miss my turn and stuff or whatever because of like all the names of shit and stuff. It's just confusing, man. But yeah, they also had the Robovan that they announced, which I'm guessing is gonna eventually, like years and years and years down the line, like replace, I'm guessing, like buses and stuff. And it's getting scary. AI combined with like this driverless car thing is getting so scary because it's coming literally the lines between like reality and Detroit Become Human are getting slowly like closer together, because that game, like they have the bus, and it even turned dystopian in that game because they were autonomous buses, but they still had a bit in the back where like the AI, like Android people get on, so like they're essentially people, but they were just AI.
But then I've seen these weird things of Tesla robots.
Yeah, there's Tesla
and they walk around and they're
I saw just all I've seen of it is a brief tweet saying that although it's Elon Musk saying it, that they can do almost anything humans can do type shit.
Elon, literally shush, man. Like, you're so scary and I don't like what you do. Well, no, I don't like it. I'm scared of what you do, love. Like, this is too much.
He's not even the scariest part. So I was watching a Colin and Samir podcast the other day, which is basically like they do a podcast and like how to do YouTube and stuff, basically, but like very in depth. And they obviously get all like the talks with YouTube and stuff and whatnot. And they were mentioning about Mark Zuckerberg recently did a thing with Meta are doing some mad shit. So it was Mark Zuckerberg doing like a keynote type thing, and on stage with him was some content creator. I can't remember his name, but they had, you know how we was talking about the ChatGPT voice AI thing before?
Yeah,
they're doing a similar thing, and then combining that with like face kind of like AI type shit. So Mark was stood next to this content creator on the stage, and then FaceTimes an AI version of him while he's on the stage and is having like a conversation with him, and it's really, really weird. You can tell in that instance it's AI, but it's obviously going to get better.
Yeah.
And I think, I'm not sure if this was like a confirmed thing coming to YouTube or whether it was like they heard that they might do something like it. In this Colin and Samir podcast, they mention about like, so if you've got your favorite YouTuber, right, how you can almost like talk to like them, but the AI version of them, because it would train off of their videos and stuff and respond.
So it'll know quite a lot.
So yeah, and you can like, the parasocial relationship would get so weird.
And there'll be weirdos out there that like love that.
Yeah,
like they'll have conversations.
People will do stuff with that. I can see some of the TikTok clips already going around.
The funny side of that though is I love that there's I've seen videos of people having conversations with AI things, and you can like I saw, who was it? It was the Emergency Intercom podcast with Enya and Drew. These two people, they're so funny.
Yeah.
And they were talking to this AI thing, and he was like, "Can you be more gay, please?" Or like speak in more gay terms. And it's like they start throwing in words like, "I need
just getting it to reply in really funny ways, basically. Rather
than
like
and it actually does it. Like him being like, "Can you say it more gay, please?" It just starts throwing in.
I think I know the podcast you're talking about. Is that the one? It's quite a big guy with glasses.
I know who you're on about, but it's not that.
Oh, I love that podcast. I don't know what the name of it is, but that guy has fucking jokes.
Way. Okay.
Wait, I recognize these guys. Can you show me? Oh, I don't know these guys.
I can't find the right clip, but it's so funny.
But yeah, AI is getting like really, really scary. We've probably talked about it in quite a lot of episodes now, but it's getting the moment.
I found it.
The moment where this gets combined with robots is when I get scared.
I'm coming out to my family very soon, and I need help. Can you like list me a couple things that would help me come out to my family?
That's a big step, and I'm here for you. Here are a few things.
Use more gay slang.
Like,
before he even finishes, cut it off.
So, when you're ready to spill the tea, find a fab time and a cozy spot. Get your chosen fam or a supportive bestie on standby for some emotional backup. And remember, Hunty, breathe and take your time.
Hunty,
no
breathe and take your time.
The accent just threw me off so much.
Like, can you just like say it in like more gay slang? Like, can you just like be more gay? And it understands the assignment massively.
Yeah, that's funny as fuck.
And that is funny. But...
Yeah. I'm not like, a lot of people get scared at the AI stuff, how it is now. The stuff where it is now, it doesn't scare me. Like even to a degree, even that like FaceTime and creator type thing, like I just think that's weird. It doesn't really scare me. I just think it's very weird. The weird part of that is the parasocial relationships, but that's people, not the AI.
True.
The moment I get scared is when they put all of this together into robot humans. That's when I'm
then it's a person.
And then you've got a servant, and servant borders along the lines of something that I'm not going to say, but everyone knows what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
And that's literally the plot to Detroit Become Human, and it's becoming reality, which is fucking scary.
Yeah.
That's a game.
And that's why now we're seeing like, what I keep seeing on Twitter is these like robots walking down the street, and they're all like, oh, I don't know. It's so scary, and this is all like Tesla shit.
I wish we had the thing where I could put it up on like a screen and we could both watch it, but we're too small for that, guys. We don't have a studio and a fucking producer to pull stuff up for us. But yeah, I need to see the videos of that Tesla robot thing. But yeah, the Cybercar and Robovan stuff, I think that's exciting. If there was an autonomous car, I would get in a driverless car pretty happily. Because I don't think it's going to reach a point where I can do that until it's at a point where it's safe.
Yeah, if I know that it's genuinely safe, legitimate, tested, other people are using it and it's fine, I would do it, but I would be scared because I'm quite a scared person.
By the time it reaches UK, it will be... I think the first place, even this Cybercar and Robovan, when it does release, I think it's only releasing in like California and Texas and stuff.
That sounds about right.
I wonder if that driverless car that I saw was a Tesla one, but I guess I'll never know. I can't remember what the company... I've got a video of it somewhere. I'll look it up after. But yeah,
more scary stuff going on in the world. Hurricane Milton.
Yeah, I've been hearing about it, and I've got a friend that's actually, it's in Florida, right? I've got a friend that's in Florida, so I hope he's safe.
Yeah, I think it's hitting mostly. I keep seeing the name Tampa, which I think is maybe somewhere
Tampa Bay.
Somewhere like in the middle of it. I could
don't know
be
where it is
so wrong, guys. So don't take that for fact. But I keep seeing this name being thrown around, and let me just remind myself so I definitely say it correct.
What, Milton? Oh no, the guy.
The guy.
Yeah.
And I had a little...
Yeah, I don't know his name. I've just seen him as I saw he rode it out on a boat.
Yeah. Where are you? Where are you? Right. So, his name is Lieutenant Dan.
Oh, okay.
That's what he goes by, at least.
I feel like is that not something that I recognize that name, but not from that?
I don't know.
I feel like that's something else.
He goes by Lieutenant Dan.
Continue.
I don't know what he's actually called, but he goes by Lieutenant Dan. Yeah. And I keep seeing updates about him on TikTok and Twitter. And he's quite literally riding out the hurricane. Everyone is evacuating from and whatever. He is staying in a boat somewhere, like right in the firing line by the sounds of it.
Bro's doing the tsunami thing where people say just swim out to sea if there's a tsunami coming. It's like, that's not how it's supposed to work.
And like, news reporters are going over there being like checking up on him, being like, are you okay? And he just pops his head out the top of the boat and it's like, I'm fine.
Chilling.
He literally, there's one video I saw of him where he pops his head out and he's basically like, yeah, I'm fine. Like, I'm really wet, but I'm fine.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck are you doing?
Literally chilling in his boat playing fucking Warzone, feet kicked up.
Yeah, he's just, I'm guessing he's just like anchored his boat down and he's just like literally riding the wave and just waiting for it to blow over. And I saw, so straight up, he survived it. Unharmed, as far as I know. The boat made it.
Has it been
probably like a bit damaged, but the boat and him both made it.
I've heard it's like obviously it's a massive hurricane and stuff, but like has it actually like caused a lot of destruction and shit?
Oh
like,
yeah,
is it bad?
Yeah. Have you seen? There's a video that did a lot of numbers on TikTok, and it was some news reporters with this kind of like graphic visual animating around them, showing how high the water was going to get in the worst areas.
Fuck.
It's so okay.
Is it causing like tsunamis and stuff as well?
Well, yeah. So look,
because hurricane's like a wind thing, right? It's like a tornado but massive.
Yeah. Let me show you how bad this is. News. Oh, I really hope I can find this video.
Showing my knowledge here on geographical disasters.
At 3 feet above normally dry ground, water is already life-threatening. It's too late to evacuate.
Wait how high it gets.
And
this is how high it was at in some places, so just wait.
And driving impossible. The first floor of homes and businesses are flooded. Unfortunately, the water is expected to rise even higher.
It gets worse.
6 feet.
So water is higher than most people at this point. So houses are fucked.
My hair would be above the water.
Anything could be in this water, sharp glass.
No, it gets worse than this,
debris,
look.
Chemicals as well. The scary part is some areas could see surge values at
10 to 15 feet of water.
And this takes us up to 9. And look
at that! Look at her height. It's like an average woman height. That's how high.
And there are few places that it is safe when the
so
water
as you can imagine,
wow.
and American houses are built pretty poorly. Like a lot of them are just like wood and stuff. Like not like UK houses.
Yeah, UK houses that don't let out a drip of fucking sweat when it's hot.
As you can imagine, like people had to evacuate. Like a lot of people come back. I keep seeing it on TikTok as well. A lot of people's houses are just ruins. Like I saw a clip and someone's house was completely gone. Like literally nothing left. Those that live like on the coast.
Yeah.
And you think Lieutenant Dan was in a boat.
In a boat, yeah. That's
and admittedly he might not have been in the main kind of like firing line of it, but he still would have been affected by it because he was in the area.
Yeah. But
yeah, some houses were ruined completely.
This might be a really stupid thing that I'm about to say, so I'm sure the comments will correct me. Isn't a hurricane just like really, really strong winds, right? I know it's causing like obviously the water level, like floods and water level going really high. But if you're in a boat, unless it's like a literal tsunami that is caused, which may be the case and that's why the flooding's happened, which is why I'm saying this could be stupid. Like, it's probably not actually a bad idea to be in a boat.
Well,
right?
that's why when hurricanes...
If you're anchored, if the anchor's long enough...
Yeah, and I don't think that's a stupid thing to talk about because I think as well, a lot of people, when hurricanes happen, they throw a lot of things, if they have like pools, they throw a lot of things in pools because the water contains it more.
Yeah.
So like India, my housemate was telling me they went on holiday and there was a hurricane while they were on holiday.
Yeah.
And they were in this villa and they were told to put all of everything outside that they could, put it in the pool because the water like contains it more somehow.
It's harder to blow away if it's in.
And it's harder to blow away. So I feel like if you're in the water and you're anchored down, you're probably more likely to be all right. Maybe, who knows?
Yeah, because I think the tsunami thing is the stupid one where you're meant to. Like people joke and be like, oh, just swim out into the sea or whatever, or just like swim, or whatever it is, and it's just not how it works. But in a hurricane, I suppose it's actually like a good thing. But yeah, I hope everyone's safe in Florida and stuff because like just seeing that video, I feel like I'm so glad that in the UK we don't ever really have natural disasters. I think the most we've had is probably like a minor fucking earthquake, but nothing like destruction wise, like nothing bad.
Yeah, we don't really get affected by that, but I think there's a reason why it hits Florida quite a lot. I think.
It's to do with like the because it's to do with like pressure and stuff. So it's like where they are in the hemisphere combined with like a bunch of other stuff.
That it's just always in the firing line.
My point that I wanted to get onto quickly, was like I feel like everyone feels like they would have a plan if this thing were to like freak hurricane hits and like or tsunami or whatever hits and happen. People go, oh yeah, just get on top of a building and stuff. Like there's so much more you've got to think about than that, and like how much stuff gets like cut off, like communication stuff. Not communication. Like transport wise, like if it floods and stuff. Like, and also if you're on top of a building and it's flooded down below, what then you're gonna do? Just wait for rescue and hope that you've got like what you're gonna do supply wise. You know how long it's gonna last, how bad it's gonna be, like that type shit. Like it's actually fucking terrifying.
There's more factors that go into it as well, in the sense of I saw some people on TikTok who were not evacuating because their houses were at a high enough elevation where even 10 to 15 feet of water isn't going to reach them.
Yeah, like they could just stay
because they're literally just higher up, so they just experience the wind. And ultimately, if you bring everything in, like you'll probably be all right. You might have a few things break, but like nothing too crazy.
I think that'd be scary in evacuating. Like imagine just be sat in like on the roof or even the top floor of a house, whatever. Everything below you's flooded, and you're just like waiting it out. What if the hurricane rips the roof off? Don't know. Yeah,
like, I saw a video of these people that didn't have flooding, so their house must have been quite high up, but they obviously still experienced the wind. And they were literally just sat in their house watching TV, and you see the trees outside, which are normally upright, fully horizontal because the wind is so strong that they're like, it's so bad. But they didn't have flooding. It's just the hardest part to see is when I see things on TikTok of people's houses just completely flooded. Like the house is ruined, basically. Even when the water eventually goes down. Everything's going to be rotten because it's all wood. Yeah. Like the house is, that's it, really. Like there's not really anything else you can do. And in that moment, what do you even do? If you go back after the hurricane and your house is gone.
That's just what I was about to say.
Does insurance must cover that?
Yeah, but a lot of Americans don't have insurance for a lot of things.
Yes, if you don't, then what? That's it.
Yeah,
which is horrible. A horrible thing to think about,
I'm
really.
not even sure. Maybe some Americans, if you're watching, please let us know in the comments. Like,
what do you do if your house is ruined?
Like, does
you're not insured?
Insurance cover natural disaster stuff? Is that like something you have to choose, like opt in and out of when you're doing insurance and stuff? Does it even come into play or whatever? But yeah, God. But what was I going to say? I wanted to change tone a bit. Speaking of disasters and like having plans for disasters and like how you survive them and stuff, I want to go through all the natural disasters. Right, which ones do you think you would have the highest likelihood of surviving? Like, but realistically, and also just like kind of ranking which ones we think
Let's
how
be
well
real.
we can survive them.
None
of them were all cooked.
I absolutely
we're cooked.
Right. Okay. Let's just go through them.
Let's say as well.
I need some resources.
Yeah, I'm gonna say it's kind of like purge type shit. Like you're on your, obviously there's other people around and stuff, but like you're kind of on your own in terms of your own plan and stuff. Like you're not just getting evacuated. Like it's every man for themselves type shit.
Oh my
scenarios.
God.
So let's start off with, let's not do hurricane to start with. Let's do, okay, you know what? Like a little tornado or twister, I think easy. I think I can outrun it. Like genuinely, because you know, like the one where you can actually see the whole thing, like it's contained. It's just like a twister going like that.
I think
run away. Or get in a car and drive off and chill.
I think it would be a lot harder in London to survive that. There's a lot more opportunities for things to be picked up by the hurricane and go wrong. I think if I'm really thinking logically about this and I have enough time, I would go back to my hometown.
What, for a little tornado thing? Do you know how like contained those things are? It's not like a hurricane where it's like the whole like it wouldn't even cover the whole of London.
If it's just like a little if it's just a little tornado, then
like if the tornado is big enough, that's when it becomes a hurricane, basically, because it's just high wind at that point.
Okay, if it's just a tornado,
it's like a little twist.
Yeah, but are we like
Alice in Wonderland? Like
okay, yeah, but are we thinking the hypothetical of this tornado is going to be literally hitting where my house is?
No, but it's close enough to be a danger if you weren't to move. So it's not like the tornado is on your fucking house.
But I would still leave if there was risk that it was going to be hitting my London home.
Because your hometown, though.
Yeah, well, where else am I going to go?
Oh, well, because you're thinking, my house is gone. Yeah, but I'm thinking pure survival. I'm not thinking like
I'm going
longevity.
back to my hometown.
You're going all the way down to... Oh, I'm not going to say it. You're going all the way there, which is far away from London.
Hours away. I'm getting as far away from as possible.
For a little twisted tornado.
Because if it's gonna hit me, I don't want to die.
Yeah, but... I understand, you're going to run and you're going to go somewhere. Why are you going all the way back to your hometown to get away from it? This thing isn't even going to exit the borders of London.
I'll go to fucking Stevenage then.
I don't think you need to. Just go on an underground station. Just go on an underground station and chilling.
That's really clever.
Yeah. Would that actually, if a hurricane hit London, would that be what people get evacuated to?
I reckon certain underground stations, they would... It depends how like secure they are, but I feel like they must be secure.
Surely a hurricane's not ripping up an underground station. It's underground.
Yeah, I reckon, especially the deep ones.
Go over it.
Especially the deep ones like Elizabeth Line, where they're like floors underground. I reckon they would evacuate quite a lot of people in them.
This is also probably going to be the most
That's actually a really interesting thing to talk about. Yeah. I mean, we might sound really stupid because maybe it's not safe, but surely at least Elizabeth Line that's very deep underground.
On the Lizzie line.
Everyone get on the Lizzie line now.
Knowing London and capitalism and all that bullshit, do you reckon the TfL just unfazed, just still running?
Like, you've got to tap in and tap out.
yeah. Everyone gets evacuated onto the underground, but you can't go past the barriers without your oyster.
Someone pushes barriers and you've got the undercovers being like, no. What's your name and address?
You can't park there, sir.
Can't park there.
Oh, that's funny. Well, what I was also going to say was, again, this is probably the stupidest thing that I ever say in regards to this topic.
Okay.
In London, would it even be possible for like a hurricane to actually be possible for a hurricane? And B, would it even get that bad? Because I'm thinking there's so many tall buildings and stuff, so many buildings in it. Like, obviously, if there's like just an average windy day, like go around a corner, it's kind of blocked because there's so many buildings.
There's a lot of things to break the wind. Yeah. That's a really good question. I'm trying to think, is there anywhere... We need some
geographical people in the...
Yeah, because I get what you mean. Like, are the buildings going to act like a windbreak?
Yeah.
To an extent.
Yeah. This is prime podcast talk that we're into right now.
I don't know. I'm trying to think, is there any other big cities that have had hurricanes? But then, like, in America, like in Florida, they'll have big buildings and stuff, but maybe in Tampa, I don't know. Maybe it's not the same level as like London. Who knows?
But what I will
that's
say
a great
is
question.
Though, American cities as well, at least
Much
the
to
ones
think
I've
about.
seen in Texas, like even in cities, although there is a lot of big buildings and stuff and similar sort of thing, like just generally like the space between everything in America is just a lot bigger.
Whereas
like, London, the
London's
streets are quite
jam-packed.
tight and there's a lot of massive buildings in like within like walking distance. Whereas like even in America, like you have to drive across the street in America, like it's crazy.
That's a really good question. I don't know, but what
Anyway, moving on to other natural disasters. We've done like a little tornado, twister, hurricane. Let's say it wouldn't be possible because I don't think we're close enough to. Are we close enough to the sea?
Tsunami, I think I'm fucked. What actually would I do? Wait, are we saying it's just gonna hit London?
Well, it's not. No, because then you're just gonna be like, I'll just leave London for all the answers. So no, it's just, like you could just drive. Let's say, even if it does just hit London, it's like a freak. You don't see it coming, so you're not just like, oh, I know it's coming tomorrow. I'm just gonna drive away.
I'm just gonna leave.
It's hit, and everyone's like, oh shit. Like no one saw it coming.
Because again, the main thing is you have to go somewhere that's elevated and secure enough to withstand the pressure.
I feel there's a lot of places in London. I feel like London's pretty disaster proof. Dare I say it?
There's a lot of very secure, very tall buildings that could probably withstand it.
Yeah.
I feel like
the top of the shard, chilling.
I feel like a lot of places that get hit by tsunamis, I don't know, like
aren't built for it.
Maybe aren't built. But then you think if they're susceptible to having lots of tsunamis, they will be built for it. But I don't know if it's. I don't know.
That's a whole other question. Yeah, because it would have to be.
You'd have to go somewhere elevated and secure, really, wouldn't you?
What's like? Obviously, there's been a lot of bad tsunamis in people's time. Have they ever brought down like sky? Like, does a tsunami have power enough to bring down a skyscraper? I don't know.
I feel like
because I'm talking if these
London level skyscrapers, I feel like it would have to be an insane amount of water to push it down because you think how far
London's finished,
and you think how far the foundations of skyscrapers go into the ground.
Yeah,
but for there to be enough pressure, the water would have to be like stupidly high up. Like
I'm moving fast.
Yeah, if it was,
you couldn't go underground to evacuate this one either because it just flood. You just drown.
Yeah,
probably the worst place to go for this actually.
Yeah, you'd be fucked. Yeah.
Would my thing be? I mean, I live in like a pretty high up thing. I think I'd probably be chilling here.
Yeah, I think you'd be fine. I don't think
either that or I get a kayak and go out the front and just ride it out.
For the water to be high enough to hit 6 floors above ground level, finished.
Yeah,
like that's bad. But I don't think it would ever get to that point. But who knows?
Yeah, although I do live right next to. To be fair, if they're talking about getting the water type shit, I've got a river right next to my flat. Just jump in that
river. Mate, you've got sewage canal.
Jump in the
Don't
poo
kid
river.
yourself. You've literally got poo. You've got poo, liquid poo next to you. You'd be fucked. If we had
I would just stink.
You would just stink. If we had a tsunami, all that poo would be coming up here. It stinks already. That would be bad.
Oh my lower level would be.
Your lower level would be. It would be poo. For
context, the bridge that's next to my flat is
a sewage canal.
Like a sewage bridge or some shit. Like there's a sign on the side of the bridge that says like sewage. And sometimes
which Ben didn't realize when he moved in here. By the way, I was the one.
I don't smell it in my flat. Also, like it doesn't affect me unless
I smell it when I walk over there. It's literally just stinks of pure liquid ass.
Yeah,
so. It literally is liquid
anyway,
ass.
Right, we've done hurricane, tornado.
Right,
this is a typical one. This is a tricky one. Earthquake. Because that's like, what the fuck actually... Obviously, I know what happens in an earthquake, but in terms of like, on a level that's going to affect me.
I think my current house, because it's just a low-level, jam-packed, attached house...
Let's say houses gone in this. Let's say, to be honest, an earthquake's probably the most devastating one. I think because that can fuck up skyscrapers. Because the foundations...
That's why I think like my current house, which is there's no big buildings around. All the houses are really tightly packed. There's nothing high that could fall. There's not really many trees near my house.
Yeah, but like if it's enough to bring down a skyscraper, like, your house is fucked.
Yeah, but what earthquakes have brought down skyscrapers? Are we just thinking hypothetically here?
Yeah, hypothetically. Because otherwise our answers for all just going to be let's just get on the building.
Again, it would have to be like maybe you run, if you can make it, go to like an open space, like a park or I know there is trees around, but like you're less likely to be hit by that than a big building. Like, if it's going to take down all the buildings, you're probably, is to go to like, I don't know, like if you're near like Primrose Hill or Hampstead Heath, like the big parks around there, like just some open space.
Yeah.
Where like there's either not many trees or like you just have a bit more, you can see the trees coming down, you can kind of maybe run.
You know,
but
this is going to sound really, really dumb.
If you're in a really residential area and it was enough to bring buildings down, then you're finished, aren't you?
Yeah, this is going to be really, really dumb. But obviously, you know, like earthquakes is to do with like the tectonic plates like moving and stuff.
Yeah.
Is there ever actually a point like where it's just like a big crack in the ground? This sounds so dumb.
Yeah.
There is.
Yeah. I'm sure there is because
obviously it's going to get filled by other shit falling in. But like, imagine that just being like, imagine the split happens down the middle of your street, and the side of your street just gets risen up like above the like you're now 10 foot higher than the other half of the street.
Plates breaking apart is known as rifting, and this process creates new oceans with their ridges.
Yeah. Yeah, that's how volcanoes are formed. Or at least underwater ones. And sometimes they go above ground. Because they crack, there's loads of lava, and then it's like volcanic rock and shit is formed.
So a divergent boundary occurs when two tectonic plates move away from each other. Along these boundaries, earthquakes common and magma rises from the Earth's mantle to the surface, solidifying to create new oceanic crust.
Yeah.
So a lot of it, I'm guessing, happens in the ocean.
Yeah, I think they do. Mostly.
And the earthquake is...
I think earthquake's definitely the scariest. For me, I think an earthquake's the scariest
faults
thing.
are cracks in the Earth's crust along which there is movement, and that comes from the tectonic plates, the tension building up along a fault, and then it's suddenly released where they like move away. So that is essentially cracks, like what you're saying. So that is kind of what happens.
I think earthquake's definitely the scariest one because one, they're normally partnered with a fucking tsunami because, like you said, it normally happens in the sea. So that's how you get an earthquake and then a tsunami. But also, like, is there a telling sign? Like, you can't know an earthquake's coming. Like, earthquakes just happen.
No, but you can tell when a tsunami's coming.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure
because you detect an earthquake in the ocean.
Well, and also, I think, isn't it generally the tide goes further back?
Yeah,
Like you can tell when it's brewing.
But that's also like it's coming now. I'm talking like for example, the hurricane that hit Florida and stuff. You can tell days in advance because of the wind and shit, the way they do the weather. Tsunami, usually they can tell if there's an earthquake in the ocean because they'll just have sensors and shit for different stuff, but you can kind of detect. And then the tide goes back. But isn't the tide going back like it's about to hit in like an hour, like within?
Yeah, I don't know.
Close
probably
amount of time. But
so what can you not tell when earthquakes happen are like about to happen?
Don't think so.
Because
it just happens. There'll probably be something, but I'm guessing it's not enough. Like I'm guessing you can't say like there's going to be an earthquake next week because otherwise a lot of places that get hit with these freak earthquakes would get evacuated. No.
True. Let's see what this says. Yeah, look, we do not know how, and we do not expect to know how any time in the foreseeable future. That's whether you can predict earthquakes. Scientists can only calculate the probability that a significant earthquake will occur in a specific area within a specific number of years. Yeah, it's like hazard mapping. Like it's just predictions.
Yeah. Well, let's say.
But no, you can't really by the looks of it.
I think in terms of survivalhood, the likelihood of surviving out of these things. I think little tornado twister thing, just fucking outrun it.
Yeah, I reckon that's all right.
Tsunami happens.
I feel like
techie but I think
it depends on how much water there is.
If it's just a pure tsunami, I think luckily we're in London. Just get up on a high place, and I think you're chilling.
Yeah.
Earthquake and hurricane.
Earthquake, I think, would be very detrimental.
I actually think London's pretty disaster-proof. I think earthquake would be the most like shattering one because like you can't.
Yeah, because if
don't want
buildings
to go underground because
fall,
things will collapse underground. Buildings could, if it's really, really, really bad, skyscrapers could maybe fall and stuff like that. So I think that's the one where you've got to be like, I'm getting out of London.
Yeah, I think a tsunami would be detrimental depending on how much water there is.
Yeah.
Like if there's a lot of water, then you're fucked.
I don't know what my actual survival plan for that would be. But anyway, we've talked about this we've waffled about it for ages. let's move on to our next topic.
Yeah, I need to move on to something a bit more lighthearted that I can talk about for a long time. Because
Nothing lighthearted, like a fucking murder mystery case or whatever it is.
Yeah, actually, I don't know why I said that.
Yeah.
It's not lighthearted at all, actually. I have been wanting to bring this up ever since I binge watched this this week, actually. I binge watched it over the course of 2 days.
What is it?
It is called Monsters, and it is a series that's come out on Netflix that's been popping off on TikTok recently.
Is that the same thing as Dharma? Because Dharma was like a monster thing, was it not? It started after Dharma?
This was started after Dharma.
Oh, okay.
It's a very similar vibe in terms of like the themes and the way that the show is kind of produced, but it's basically, rather than being about Jeffrey Dahmer, it's about these two guys called Lyle and Eric Menendez. So it's about brothers.
I've heard a little bit
It's
about
so
this
interesting.
because in the Patreon episode that James and Fu had just did, they talked about, I think they reacted to like all I know about is that on the summary of the episode, there was a Lyle Menendez TikTok edit / first trap thing made that someone's obviously made of it.
Yeah,
because like the way they do the Dharma shit, I'm guessing. Like fangirling over him.
Yeah, because the actors that play the brothers are quite fit, to be fair.
Anyways,
so like,
continue. Why do they keep fucking doing that? They keep making all these fucking psychopaths like attractive as fuck.
be really fit, yeah.
Anyway, yeah.
But yeah, it's a similar vibe to Dharma in the sense of like the way the show is produced, but it's about the Menendez brothers, Lyle and Eric, and this is a true story. So it's all just portraying a true story, but in like a bit of a dramatic way for Netflix.
Yeah.
And these brothers, to cut a very long story short, they killed their parents. They shot both of them. And the way that the show kind of dives into it is it tells the whole story from start to finish, leading up to it, the killings, the prosecution, everything that happens. And sorry, this is kind of spoilers, but I have to say this to explain it. But you basically still don't really know whether the killings were justified because the brothers just wanted the parents' money because the parents were like filthy rich.
Yeah.
Or if because the parents were abusing the boys and it was more of like the boys killed the parents because they felt threatened that the parents were going to kill them eventually. So more of like a self-defense manslaughter thing. So the big case around it was whether they were going to get done for manslaughter in self-defense or murder and probably be sentenced to death themselves.
Yeah.
And to this day, the case is still kind of up in the air. The evidence was so like, it's just kind of word of mouth, really, like who you're going to believe.
Yeah.
And there's loads more that goes into it, but the whole show does a really good job at breaking down, like you as a viewer, you kind of go through phases of like, oh, they definitely are telling the truth.
Yeah,
the parents are definitely horrible people. Like, I'm not surprised they killed them. They genuinely felt threatened. And then other parts of it make you think, fuck, like, especially one of the brothers, I think it was Lyle, he comes across as really sociopathic and like they lied a lot when they first got caught and when they first before they got arrested for the murders, they would like spending all the life insurance and living a lavish life. And there are some things that make you think, oh, maybe they did do it for the money, but they're just using this story of abuse allegedly as like a scapegoat. Like you don't know whether it's true or not because there's just like no evidence to back it up really, other than just what they're saying. They had a few other accounts from cousins and other family members that were backing up the case that they were being abused. But again, there's not much solid evidence into it. And it's just so interesting. Like the way the whole show is made is so good. You really go through the motions of like not really knowing what to believe or who to believe.
Yeah, you don't know which side you're on.
No, not really. For the most part, I do think the brothers are telling the truth in the sense of how the parents treated them. And it gets quite deep. Like they were like badly sexually abused. Or so they say. They were really badly sexually abused by the dad. And the mother knew about it and like let it happen, didn't really get involved. And the family was just so toxic and aggressive. And the parents made threats to the boys that they were going to kill them. And there's lots of things that did add up to make you think that they probably are telling the truth. But I think the main thing is just that when they killed the parents, they lied initially, and so they didn't kill them to try and get away with it. They wanted to spend all of the money. They were living lavishly, like staying in like most expensive hotels with bodyguards, limousines.
Oh,
like
so the parents were like rich.
And they didn't own up to the murders for ages.
Yeah, that
like,
sounds techie.
There's ways that make you think, and also Lyle, I think this is the right one.
Yeah.
One of the brothers is definitely a bit sociopathic and like a little bit not right in the head.
Yeah.
And he is a very good actor and really good at playing the part, and like he'll just like cry on demand, and he's very good at making people think a certain way, which does kind of make you think, is he fabricating this story and getting the other brother to just play along with it to try and get them out of prison?
Got you. When you said like he's a good actor and he's like crying demand and shit, I was thinking, yeah, it's his job. Because I thought you were talking about the actor.
Like the actual guy, like the
is
actual brother is
he puts on an act.
He puts on a really good act. So you just don't know who to believe. And because of this Netflix show, they're reopening the case.
Ooh,
in real life.
Interesting.
So the brothers...
how does that happen? Like, as in, how does a Netflix thing make you open the case? Because obviously they're only going to... You'd normally only reopen the case if there's new evidence and stuff, which suggests that the Netflix case has got evidence that they didn't already fucking have.
They may have found some more evidence in the research of all of the case to make the show, perhaps.
Yeah, maybe.
That, and the fact as well that the justice system now versus in 1990 or whenever it was is going to be very different.
Yeah.
So like there might be things nowadays that maybe will help get them like on parole earlier, or like just like more things that will be taken into consideration, or new evidence that may have come out, who knows. But it's now been reopened because of it. Because the brothers, I haven't watched the last episode, I've still got that one to watch.
Yeah.
Judging by the fact the brothers are still in jail, I presume they were found guilty of the murders. And like,
well, if they're reopening the case, they can't have been, right?
I don't know.
Because guilty is case closed.
But you can reopen cases after a verdict, can't you?
I suppose if there's enough, their mind,
which they might be. I don't know, but
yeah,
it's brought a lot of media attention to it. It's such a good watch. Like there are details
I'm locked in.
There are details that I would have missed out, but like it's so well made, and you really don't know who or what to believe when you watch it.
I love stuff like that. Like I love stuff where like obviously I'm talking about just like shows as well and stuff where like the good guy and a bad guy, whatever, it's like blurred lines. I love when it's like that, and it's not just like this person's bad and this person's stopping them.
And the interesting thing about it as well is you can tell the brothers, Lyle and Eric, again, I'm pretty sure Lyle is the one that's a bit more kind of psychopathic, and Eric is the one that's a lot more empathetic and affected by it all. Like the reason why they got caught was because Eric in therapy told his therapist, because he just couldn't deal with it anymore. Like he was having nightmares about it. Like
I thought therapists, it's like the same thing as doctors, where you're meant to have that
confidentiality.
Yeah, you can tell them anything and they can't. Like a fucking what they call the people in churches, where you go to like confession booth and they can't tell anyone.
I think because,
or is that what I'm thinking of instead?
I think because Eric confessed the murders to his therapist. The therapist called Lyle to be like, you need to get down here, we need to talk about this.
Yeah.
And Lyle threatened to kill the therapist because he was like, we can't have this getting out, you need to die as well. And then I think tapes got...
Why would you tell
But then I'm kind of giving away a lot here, so sorry, this is spoilers, but because the therapist then felt at risk, he then called people to like warn them. And I think, to cut a long story short, the therapist kind of fucked some people over who then also knew what was going on, heard tapes, because the therapist was recording their sessions for his own safety, and people that he did wrong leaked the tapes to the police and stuff. So it all got out, basically. It's a long story, but...
Sounds like a bad therapist. If that thing that I was saying is true,
it's definitely, the therapist definitely was not great.
In it, Jesus.
And it's really interesting because the two brothers are very different in how they go about all of this. Lyle is very, I'm going to fabricate, or comes across as, if this is not true, what their kind of defense is, I'm going to fabricate everything, and I'm a fucking good actor. Like, I'm going to get away with this. I'm going to make the jury believe exactly what I want them to believe it, and I'm going to do it well. Like, with no remorse. Whereas Eric is a lot more guilty and has a lot more baggage, and like the brothers kind of turn on each other because of it.
Interesting.
Like Eric kind of fumbles in court and like just doesn't really paint the picture like what Lyle wants him to. And maybe it's because what they're saying isn't true and Eric can't lie, but maybe it's just because Eric is stressed and just kind of fumbles it. Like you just don't know. And it's so interesting.
I'm gonna watch that. I'm probably gonna binge it as well.
Highly recommend. There's 9 episodes and I watched 8 of them in 2 days. That's 8 hours worth of it. And I've just got the last one to watch. But there is more to it. Like I know I've just given away a lot of it, but definitely still watch it.
Yeah.
It's so good. So good.
It sounds like almost like a modern day version of like the OJ case. But just not obviously.
There's references to the OJ case in it as well.
Yeah, like, did you watch the documentary on that? By the way, that's on. I don't know if it will still be on it. It was on Netflix like years ago now.
I probably did because I love stuff like that. But
it was a very good documentary.
The whole thing is just so interesting, and I find true crime stuff really really fascinating because I like diving into it. But the more kind of like overarching part is. The guy that plays, and again, I'm really sorry if I'm getting the names mixed up, but I think it's Lyle who's like the main one, the kind of crazy one.
Yeah.
The guy who plays him, Nicholas something, I think that's his name. He's really fit.
Yeah. And
so people are making thirst traps of it.
Actually, insane.
He is quite fit.
Not only like, obviously it's a bit different when you're kind of doing it over like an actor who's playing a character and stuff, but like the fact that like. In reality and stuff with Dharma and like Ted Bundy especially, like people were actually like fangirling and like sending the mail and stuff like that is fucking crazy to me, by the way. That's insanity.
I won't give away any more than I need to, but that
I mean, you can tell me because it's like, even if it's a real case. So
but
like,
that plays a big part in this as well. With
it's like a moral dilemma,
with girls fangirling over them and also some of them pretending to fangirl but actually being tapped into the legal system and like being a bit of a rat to get information out. Loads of stuff like that happens in this and that's really interesting. But it is fucked that in real life real people who actually just are obsessed with the killers come forward because they're just fit. And the brothers have loads of it because the brothers are
not even
in real life like attractive guys, so they got so much female attention even though they were being done for killing their parents.
Yeah, not even just necessarily like, I suppose I was about to say not even just because they're fit, but I suppose it is the reason. But I was going to say, like, isn't Jeffrey Dahmer, like, he was literally gay, right? Like, he literally goes to, like, gay clubs and kill, like, or do whatever he used to do to
people weirdly just, victims. Some people just weirdly idolize them. And I don't know why, because it's like, if they're fit, that's one thing. But if they're not even fit, they're just a murderer. They just have a lot of, like, clout. That's not really the right word, but
it sort of is nowadays. Though, like,
like a status around what they've done in their name.
Clout is just media coverage.
And some people just find that attractive, even though like they've got that for literally being a murderer.
Yeah,
it's kind of crazy. I'll never really understand that because why would you actively want to go and make a bond with a murderer that you didn't have a bond to before? Like you're only doing that because you want to like speak to them. It's weird.
Fucking tapped.
It's weird.
It's tapped.
But yeah, highly recommend watching it, everybody. It's so good. It's not all doom and gloom either. Like it's really interesting.
Sounds
there are like lighthearted.
It sounds just more like a juicy court case type thing, like kind of like Suits type thing.
Which I've
heard is good. I need to watch
juicy
that as
well. So good.
Damn, I better start bringing some TV. I need to watch some TV shows and give you some recommendations because you've given me a few good ones now.
Yeah.
But I think that's going to bring us to the end of episode 12, guys.
A juicy end to a juicy ep.
Yeah, very, very juicy ep. If you enjoyed, as always, on our audio platforms, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, please leave us a 5-star review and leave a comment if you can, because I don't know whether that's a thing or not still. If you're on YouTube, drop a like on the video if you did enjoy and you've made it this far. Subscribe to the channel. We drop episodes every Sunday at 6 p.m. And
follow our Instagram and TikTok.
At everythingnothing.pod.
Yippee.
But thank you very much for listening and watching, and we'll see you next week.
Love you. Bye. Goodbye. Hey, come on. Ready, Ben? Wow.
Oh my god, yeah, that was crisp, no pun intended.
One more time. Wow, that was even bigger.
I'll do the little taps on the mic. What the fuck are you doing?